All right, folks. So, welcome to our self-selection and roommate selection housing live stream. So, we're really excited for all of you to join us tonight. My name is Robert. I'm an enrollment advisor here at Trent University, and joining me are multiple members of the housing team. I have, in particular, Montana Scott, who's the recruitment and business development coordinator at Trent University's housing department. So, we're really excited for the path that you have towards you, and we're looking forward to sharing all of the information that you kind of need to understand before you select your housing for the 2025 fall. So during this session, you can ask us any questions that are burning for you. You can pop them in the Q&A feature that you'll find at the bottom of the screen, and we'll either try to get to them through the live stream, or we'll be doing a Q&A session at the end as well. So I'm going to give you a quick little breakdown of how the live stream is formatted tonight. So again, we'll have our presentation section that will take up probably the majority of the live stream. And then we'll also have that Q&A period at the end for you to ask your questions and then obviously for us to answer them. So with that said, we'll get started and I'll pass it off to Montana.
Thank you so much for having us tonight, Robert. Hi, everybody. My name is Montana. I work in student housing, and I am so happy to be joined by my colleagues today, Aaliyah, Maddie, and me. Aaliyah and Maddie are going to walk through the roommate selection and self-selection process. And we are all going to be able to answer your questions in the chat, whether you're thinking about them during the presentation or you want to save it for the very end. We're going to make time for that. So without any further ado, let's move forward. So I'm going to run through a little bit of an application refresher. I realize that some of you may be in the middle of your application right now, might need to submit a little bit more information to finish up, or this might be the first time that you're considering housing, whatever that is. We're going to do a bit of a run through. Some important dates for you to keep in mind, both about residence and regarding your academics and opportunities to prepare yourself before the upcoming year. Going to go through some room types and locations and where you can find more details on those items. Maddie is going to go right into roommate matching and self-selection, like a real walkthrough of the portal and what you can expect to see, pending maybe some minor changes depending on how things go later in July. We're going to have some next steps for you and, of course, time to answer questions. So whether you have already started your application or you are very fresh to the platform, these are some instructions that you can follow in order to get to the residence application. You can start in your My Trent. As long as you have a Trent email address, you can start your residence application. Click on the support tab in the top right corner, and then click student housing on the left side menu. You will eventually get to the housing services portal icon. The housing portal is separate from My Trent, but connected. And that's where you can start your residence application. The top right of the navigation, click that, and you can select where you would like to apply for it, whether that be in Peterborough or in Durham. And this QR code at the bottom right here will also give you more information on how to reach that if you need it. There's a few QR codes today. So keep that in mind. Some important dates. You might want to screenshot this one as well. May 27th, recruitment is doing their course registration live stream. You can learn more about how to register for the courses you are interested in. June 2nd is the academic acceptance deadline. So once you've received your offer, got to accept by June 2nd. And because we are so thoughtful, we put the residence deadline after the academic acceptance deadline. So you can know you're coming here before you finish your application if that's important to you. So submit that residence application. You are guaranteed residence if you apply by June 4th. That means submitting that $500 deposit, and then you can get involved with the next steps. June 15th is the tuition deposit due. That's another $500 deposit. June 26th is when course registration for new students open up, and you can request a verification of enrollment letter if you need to for your RESPs. July 2nd to 9th, that is the roommate matching window. That is when you can go into the portal, submit a little bit of information about yourself, give other people an idea of what it's like to live with you, and you can get matched with people who have a similar lifestyle or interest as you. So it'll make more sense to live with them. That being said, that's if you don't know who you want to live with. If you do know who you want to live with, you can live with them. Whoever applied first, they will get the first time slot and they can select for both of you. So link up with your friend or your friends if you want to stay in an apartment, and then you can get going to self-selection period. Be sure to go to the summer orientation days on July 4th and 11th. Get yourself comfortable with the Trent experience, meet some new people, get all of that out of the way before you start your academics to really set you up for success. July 16th to 23rd is the self-selection period. However, you don't have from the 16th to the 23rd entirely. Check your email. We're going to send you an email. You're going to get like a 15-minute time slot window. Say it's, hey, on July 18th from 3 p.m. to 3:15 p.m., you're going to get to select. And much like you would order an airport or an airplane ticket or a concert ticket, you are going to be able to see all of the options available to you and select from there. Um, and then August 31st, that is Labor Day weekend, as we like to call it in Canada. And that's the move-in period. So we really look forward to welcoming you to campus. And if you have move-in questions today, I'm going to let you know that we're going to do either a webinar just like this or a pretty in-depth YouTube video to explain to you how to move in. This is in addition to an email. This is in addition to having the information on the website. But if you have move-in questions, I'm going to be able to answer them much more easily in the coming months. So we will help you. Don't you worry. And this is the apply QR code, so you can go straight to the page and learn how to apply. Okay, so a little recap of our room types. Definitely recommend that you take a tour. Robert is going to have more information on how to take a tour of residence at the end of this presentation. It really is the best way to feel out the vibe of the spaces that we have, because every college has a variety of options, right? And you might like one college more than the other. You might have a few on your list that you're interested in. Having as much information ahead of time will make that self-selection window be easy to fulfill in that time. You've already done your research and then boom, you can select. With that being said, we have a variety of suite types. Suite types, in general, they're apartment spaces. Our premium suite singles and doubles, they are available in the annexes in Peterborough. Think of like a townhome style apartment right across the street from campus. Short walk away, a little bit more independence, and a smaller meal plan because you're sharing a townhome with a large kitchen living space with in-suite laundry and washrooms. So you can share your grocery resources and have meals with the people that you live with. And you'd be sharing that with four to five other students. So our regular suites, single and doubles, they're rooms in an apartment shared with 2 to 4 residents. They also have a kitchen, a living space, and a washroom, and they're available in the colleges on campus in Peterborough. That's Lady Eaton, Champlain, Otonabee, and Trail College, which is a smaller campus that's located closer to downtown. A lot of folks really like Trail College. It's got a beautiful historic feel, and being closer to downtown has all of its own perks. That being said, it's still like a 10-minute bus ride to main campus. I live in that area, and it's a really convenient space to be. Value suites are available in singles and doubles as well. These are rooms in a smaller apartment shared with 2 to 4 residents. They include a kitchen, living space, and a washroom. Value suites are great for folks who are prioritizing their budget with their studies, and they're available in Lady Eaton, Champlain, and Otonabee. So we have the apartment style. We just chatted about that. We also have that traditional dorm kind of experience that a lot of people are used to when thinking about university. In Zosky College, we have premium singles. A lot of people really like those. These are single rooms with a double bed. You get a washroom that's shared with only one other resident. So think two rooms that are connected by a washroom. Um, and you get to choose who you share that washroom with in that roommate portal option. Each floor on Zosky has community kitchenettes, living spaces, and in-suite laundry. We also have traditional single and doubles across the colleges as well. That's at Lady Eaton, Champlain, Otonabee, and Trail Downtown. These are your standard dorm style rooms within a community, and there's shared kitchenettes, washrooms, and laundry. Um, I know I'm using the term shared washroom, but I want to let you know that you're always going to have an opportunity to be alone um, while while you're using the washroom as well. Value rooms are available in single and double. These are kind of a very similar vibe to the value suites. They're great for students who are prioritizing their budget while studying. This is a smaller traditional room or a room a bit further away from campus. And you might have a bunk bed if you're doing a double. So in Lady Eaton, Champlain, and Otonabee, you can get a value room. And lastly, we have our Durham premium singles and doubles. Um, this space is beautifully renovated. They are dorm style rooms within a community, air conditioned. Shared kitchenettes, washrooms, and study lounges and laundry are on every floor in Durham. And we are giving you $850 off the cost of the 2025-26 year. If you go down to that QR code, you will get a more detailed list and table of all of these spaces and all of the prices to help you make that decision. I also recommend following us on social media and checking out our web pages. Social media, we offer some tours of the spaces so you can really feel the vibe if you haven't been to campus yet. And on the website, we have photos of each space so you can kind of get a better understanding of what that looks like. Okay, and you don't need to hear my voice for much more because I'm going to pass the mic over to Maddie for a walkthrough. A note, and I'm sure that she'll share the sentiment, is that some of these details are still under construction. So you can rely on the fact that this is basically the process that you can expect to see. The words and the buttons might be slightly modified, but this should be a good resource for you going into that self-selection period. Maddie, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to. Good evening, everybody. As Montana said, my name is Madeline Huff. I am our business systems analyst within student housing. And I'm going to give us our walkthrough of how you all will participate in roommate matching, forming your roommate groups, as well as going through and selecting yours, and if applicable, your roommates or suite mates room assignments for the 25-26 academic year. So just give me one moment here. We're going to go ahead and share my screen. If I could just get thumbs up or confirmation from my team. Okay, perfect. That it's showing up. So as Montana kind of opened our presentation up with, you can access your student housing portal through My Trent. And whenever you do that, this is the home screen or the home page that you're going to land on within our portal. Your student housing portal is set up and built to be a one-stop shop for you all when you're applying to come to campus, preparing for move-in, as well as after your move-in and you're a resident with us on campus. So for roommate matching and room self-selection, these steps are a part of your residence application that you've either completed with us or you are going to start or are in the process of completing at this point. So once you're logged in, you're going to access your residence application by selecting it in the top navigation bar. You're going to choose your option that is most applicable to your application status. So for me, I'm going to go through and I'm going to edit an existing or complete application. And the page that I'm going to land on here is only going to show me my completed Peterborough 2025-26 application. So I'm going to hit continue to go ahead and open that up to be able to access the roommate matching step and room self-selection. So whenever you open up your application, our system automatically defaults to hitting the welcome page. But obviously, we don't want you guys to have to go through every single step of your application just to get to roommate matching. So we do have these handy navigation arrows that you will be able to click until you can see roommate matching available. So you can see here that on my navigation bar, it shows that I've already completed roommate matching and that I've completed room self-selection. When you guys enter your portal, it is going to show that this is blank. You're not going to have a check mark. So what you guys are going to end up doing is you're actually going to land or go to your roommate profile and gender preferences page first. And the reason why we encourage you all to do this is just to make sure that all of your living style, living habit questions are up to date. You can update what your roommate profile will look like to other students who are looking for you, as well as confirming your gender preferences in regards to your housing. So if you would prefer same gender, or if you are interested in our gender inclusive housing option. So you'll go through this page. If you want to update the description of yourself, feel free to. Mine is pretty accurate at this point. So we're going to keep it as is. And then you can go through these lifestyle questions and truly make sure that they represent your lifestyle as well as your living habits, because that's going to help you succeed in finding a roommate. And then as well, you'll go down, you can re-review our gender preferences and then reconfirm your housing preference. Once you do all of these steps, you're going to hit save and continue, and this is going to take you to our roommate matching step. So I'm just going to reiterate this, but Montana did mention that our roommate matching period is July 2nd through July 8th of this year. During this window, this is the only time that you will be able to accept, send, or form roommate groups. Outside of this window, this will no longer be an option on your student housing portal. So just a few things that I wanted to note in regards to roommate matching is that whenever you're going through this process, if you do have a roommate in mind that you would like to add, you all have to have the same housing preferences. So that's going to be the same gender preferences. That's going to be both of you opting into winter break stay housing if you require it. If you and your preferred roommate don't have the same housing preferences, you will unfortunately not be able to form a roommate group. Just due to some of our housing options, we're able to offer different housing preferences versus other communities. But as you can see here, this just gives you additional information on roommate matching. I won't read through that today. But at this point, everybody, whenever you land on this page, you're going to see a not in a roommate group banner. This is telling you that you have not formed a roommate group, you haven't sent an invite out to anybody, and it's going to explain what options you have available to you to either search for roommates, to add somebody that you know, or maybe even search for roommates by their profiles. So the first one that I want to go through you all with today is going to be the suggested roommates. So with this portion of roommate matching, this is actually going to look at your living style questions and your living habit questions. And it's going to give you the top 50 results of students that match the best with you based on those answers. So you can see here, I've got a bunch of lovely students who want to, that I could possibly roommate match with that have the same housing preferences. And what you're going to be able to see here is that I can send a roommate request, I can send a message, or if I wanted to learn more about Nicole, I could actually view their profile. And what this is going to allow you to do is see what their web name is, you can see the description that they provided of themselves, you can see their gender as well as their age, and then you can see their responses to their lifestyle and living habit questions, just to ensure that you guys will be able to have a successful living arrangement when you join us this fall. So this is your suggested roommates portion. Next, I want to go through and show you the search for roommates by profiles function. So this is going to allow you to select which profile questions and answers are the most important to you. And based off of what you select, so say that I want somebody who doesn't smoke, then I'm going to hit no here, and then I'm going to do my search results. So this is going to show me everybody that also put no to smoking. So that way I know that this is something that I absolutely cannot live without in residence. I don't want to live with somebody who smokes. So this is a great way to search for maybe the lifestyle and living habits that are most important to you that you would like to have a roommate that also values, either those living habits or lifestyle. One thing that I will note with using this function in the housing portal is that if you select all of your answers to all of the lifestyle and living habit questions, you're really going to limit your results. The likelihood that somebody answered every single question the same as you, unfortunately, I would say are probably slim. So I would recommend only selecting your top 2 or 3 lifestyle and living habit questions that are maybe non-negotiable before you guys do a search on this page. And then the final roommate option, and this is going to be for those individuals who know who they want to room with, have their student details on hand, is you're going to search for roommates by detail. So what we allow here is we allow you to search by their web name, their last name, as well as their student number. So for me, my lovely colleague on the call here, Aaliyah Allen, I want to be her roommate. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to search for her last name. So as you can see, as soon as I type it in, if it matches a student record, it's going to appear here. I'm still going to be able to perform all of those same actions, such as viewing her profile. I could even send her a message or just send her a straight roommate request. But I do want to show you all what a send message looks like in regards to kind of how it'll look in the portal. So whenever you send a message within your student housing portal, this is only going to send them a message in this student housing portal. It's not going to send them an email. It's not going to do any other type of communication. So what I recommend is that when this roommate matching period is open, if you're messaging students, you need to be actively returning to your student housing portal to check to see if you have messages, which I will show you how to do that shortly. So I could do a quick subject and then say, "Hi, Leah, excited to be your roommate." And then you can send that message. So then this will be sent to Aaliyah. She'll see it in her student housing portal, and then she can respond as she wishes. So before we do that though, I am actually going to go ahead and send Aaliyah a roommate request. And I'm going to do that so that way I can show you all after we review messages, how this will look from Aaliyah's perspective, the student who is receiving these incoming requests. But as you can see, once you submit a request, it's going to say that my request to send it to Aaliyah has been sent. Our portal does automatically generate roommate group names. This is something that you all don't have to worry about. It's just our way of uniquely identifying the roommate group that you guys have formed on your student housing portal. On this homepage for roommate matching though, you are able to see the roommate group that you created, as well as any outgoing roommate requests that you have. So say that I decided after I send it to Aaliyah, oh man, like I actually don't want to do that anymore. You can cancel an outgoing request before they have an opportunity to respond to it. And then you'll also see here that I am listed as the group leader. that is just a designation that our system does for the individual that starts the group. So there is no restrictions on not being a group leader versus being the group leader. Just wanted to point that out there in case we had any questions come up. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go to the messages and show you all how that functions and operates within the portal. So you'll hit this menu drop down bar, and then you're actually going to see messages. So when you have an active message in your portal, you will see a bubble and it'll have a number considering or showing you how many unread messages you have. But as soon as you hit messages, this is where you're going to be able to see any existing conversations that you have. So whether that be messages you've sent, messages you've received, or messages that we have sent you, either through the portal, through automated processes that we have, or anything else that we might want to send you throughout the year. So here we can see that this is Aaliyah's response to me. You're going to be able to forward it if you want to. You can put in the student's web name, but it'll be different on Aaliyah's side, which unfortunately I can't show that because privacy within our database doesn't allow us to do that while we're impersonating other students. But you can, Aaliyah would be able to respond here and answer your message. So now we're going to jump to the portion of roommate matching where Aaliyah is going to come here and she's actually going to accept my roommate request. So this is what your messages will look like if you guys have them in the portal. But if you'll just give me a moment, we're going to jump to the roommate matching step in Aaliyah's application here. So as you can see, this is what I was mentioning earlier. Aaliyah hasn't gone through and completed roommate matching. So this is going to ask me to go through the roommate profile and gender preferences step. We're not going to update anything, but we are going to reaffirm her gender preferences. And then this is where she's going to get to roommate matching. So when you're on your home page here, Aaliyah's going to see that she's not in a roommate group, and that's accurate because she hasn't accepted or sent any invites yet. And then this is where she's going to have the opportunity to either accept or decline my request. For the purposes of our demonstration today, Aaliyah is going to accept my request. So that way I can show you what it looks like when you're assigning either yourself and a roommate during room selection. The other thing that I would like to note as well is that we do have expiry dates on roommate request. So it is 7 days from the date and time that you've sent it. Our room self-selection, or not room self-selection, our roommate matching process is only a week long. So there shouldn't be any reasons for the expiry to run out during that process. So perfect. Once Aaliyah accepts it, she will see that she's now in my roommate group. She has the option to leave my group. She can view my profile or send me a message. In addition, we do have automated emails that do go through our process that will actually email the group leader and any other roommates when there have been changes to a roommate group, just to let them know, hey, maybe you have a new roommate, maybe somebody removed themselves, maybe the roommate group was deleted, different options and things there. So this is essentially our roommate matching process. I'm not sure, so I'm gonna look to Montana. Do we want to pause for questions, like very brief, or do we want to keep going through room selection?
That's a good question. Aaliyah, you've been spying the question and answers. Do you think there's enough here to go off of to start answering some questions? What do you think?
A lot of the questions that are being asked are pertaining to the rules of selection. So if you all want to move forward with that, I think that would answer a lot of the questions that the students are asking in the Q&A.
Thank you, team.
Absolutely, not a problem. Happy to do so. And I appreciate it. That was a very quick water break that I needed. So it worked out well there. All right, so now for the time to shine. We are going to go through room self-selection. So just to give you a little overview of room self-selection, This is a process where we are giving the power back to our students and to our residents. We are allowing you guys at a certain allocated room selection time slot that is based on your application fee pay date, where you can actually come into the portal, view our available rooms, and assign yourself and your roommates in your roommate group. I like to compare it to when you're selecting your seat on an airplane. It is not the same format as that, but it's essentially the same function. We want to give you guys the power to select the residence and the space that's going to be the most conducive to your living environment and your transition to Trent University. So we're going to go back into our application. And then very similar to the room selection process, you all won't have it completed. So you'll just go to your room profile and gender preferences page. You'll hit save and continue, and that will bring you to room self-selection. So within this process, we have multiple different pages that you're going to hit. The first one is going to be our initial selection page. So this is going to tell you that we have 360 photos and floor plans available of all of our buildings on our website. I cannot recommend and encourage you all to check out this information, check out the videos, look at the floor plans before room self-selection to get an idea of where you want to live, maybe what floor, what room spaces are most appealing to you. If you want something that's closer to the stairs, if you want something that's maybe closer to a communal bathroom, this is going to be your time to shine. And also, don't put all of your eggs in one basket and say, this is the room I'm going to get. Make sure that you have a couple of options that you and or your roommates are okay with whenever you go through and start this process. So this first page is going to have all of our residential buildings on campus. You can see here that you may see some duplicate images. Don't worry, they are separate buildings. We've got Champlain College North and West. We also have Lady Eaton College North and South. So just make sure that you're selecting the building that you want to start your initial search on. So I'm going to hit select under Champlain Annex. And then the next page that it's going to bring me to is our room list page. So this is going to show you all of the available rooms and bed spaces that we have in residence at the time you log in. If you do have a later time slot throughout our room self-selection period, your choices may be more limited, but I can promise you that our portal is going to be showing you the available options at that time that you are logged in. So if you are searching for a specific room type and you don't see it, unfortunately, those have all been assigned for the 25-26 year. So for your rooms list page, you're going to have different filters that you can operate off of. So if there's a specific room type that you're looking for, you're welcome to search that here. If you want to change the residence hall that you're looking for, say that I decided, oh, hey, I don't actually want Champlain Annex and I want Ontonabe College. This is where you can change that. Your options will refresh and allow you to see what is available in those options. And then we're going to navigate on over to our room cards. So this is where it's going to show you the room that you're selecting. Some of our room spaces may have fun icons. This one specifically that I wanted to show, this means that this room space has a larger bed for our incoming students who may be over or 6 feet tall and 4 inches, which I believe is 193 centimeters, or roughly that. And then it's also going to show you how many beds are in that room. Also, it's going to show you the suite or unit, as well as the floor. And then we're also going to show you your total residence fees cost per semester on these room cards. So this is just going to give you a quick overview of what's available in those room spaces. If you want more detailed information, this is where you can go to showroom info. What this is going to do is it's going to pull up the image of the college name that we have. And then this is where you're going to be able to see more room details. So essentially what was on our room card, you're going to be able to see the room attributes, such as having the large bed there. And then you can also copy and paste this hyperlink into your internet browser to view more information about this specific residence. So if you need maybe a quick guide to be able to view our floor plans for any of these residences, this is how you're going to be able to do it. And the other thing, which I will show you what this looks like in a room that has more than one bed space, is that you're actually going to be able to see if a room is partially occupied on this page and on the room cards as well. If you hit this go back button, this is going to take you back to your room list, so that way you can see what rooms are available. So to show you guys more of kind of that showroom info page, if you're looking at rooms or units that have more than just one bed, this is where you're going to be able to see that information. So you can see here on the room card that this is telling me that this room is partially assigned, which means that one of these two beds is currently assigned to another student when they either came in and did room self-selection themselves. So we're going to hit this show room info card. So this way you guys can see what it looks like for our table that'll show who is in this room, unit, or suite. So you can see here that our lovely testing user who is in here assigned themselves to bedroom 2, bed space A within Champlain 101. Perfect. So the next step here, after you have located what room you want, the room type that you want, this is where you're going to add the room to your cart, which essentially means that you are putting it on hold and you're holding it so that way you can make your assignments and confirm that this is the selection that you actually want. Our system is currently set up to where when you select a room, it's going to select all rooms within that unit. This is on purpose, so that way if you have a larger roommate group, say of 6 people, you're going to get all of the units within that space, so that way you can assign everybody. Just make sure though that none of the rooms are partially assigned of the unit that you're selecting. If you do only have a roommate group of 2, similar to Aaliyah and I here, but say that Champlain Annex 101 has 5 bed spaces, you will be able to assign only yourself and your roommate to those bed spaces. And then once your confirmation is done, those rooms will then reappear for other students who are selecting to fill those empty bed spaces. So once the items are added to your cart, you're going to scroll down to the bottom here and you're going to hit save and continue. This is going to take you to the next step of this process where you actually get to assign yourself to a bed in this room or unit. So as you can see here, when you're on the assign bed step, it's going to have you assign yourself first, and you're going to be able to see all of the different rooms and bed spaces that are available. As well, our system does tell you how many are available and then how many are already assigned. So I'm going to go ahead and assign myself to that second bed space in 101.2 because I want a roommate. And then we're going to treat Aaliyah to the single room that is in Champlain Annex. When you're on this step, I highly encourage you all to take your time and make sure that you're getting your roommate pairings right when you're assigning each other to the bed spaces and to the rooms. Because once you confirm your selections, you cannot come in here and change any room assignments that you've selected, any of beds that you've assigned. It's final. One thing that I did forget to note though, is that once you add those room spaces to your cart, you're actually going to see a checkout timer that appears. So from the time that you add a room to your cart to where you confirm it, you have 10 minutes. If you do not complete your assignments and confirmations prior to those 10 minutes, your portal is going to expire your cart, and those rooms are then going to reappear in room selection for somebody else to select. So just keep an eye on the time as you're going through this process. But we're going to go ahead and hit our assigned beds, and then the final process or page within room self-selection is for you to review and confirm your selections. So this is where you're going to be able to see the assignments that you made. So you saw that I assigned myself to a room that already had somebody in it. It's not going to show me that confirmation. It's only going to show me the confirmation of the beds that I assigned during this process. So I'm going to be able to see that I assigned myself to Champlain Annex bedroom 2, bed space B, and then I assigned Aaliyah to Champlain Annex bedroom 3, bed space A. And then in addition to that, whenever you are participating in room self-selection, you're booking your assignment for the full academic year. So even though on the room cards, it only showed you your per semester cost, on this review and confirmations, this is going to give you your full academic year cost for your room assignment and the room type that you've chosen. So we've got a nice little banner here that confirms that your selections are final. You will not be able to come back to your portal to make changes. So once you hit your confirm room selection, you have completed this process. So you're going to come back to your application status page. You're going to be able to see your assignment. You're going to see that your application status is now at offer accepted, which is so thrilling for us because that means that we get to welcome you to our campus in the fall. And then as well, you're going to be able to see just a booking summary of the room type, the room space, as well as the location that you've booked. And then you can see any of your roommate or suite mate information. So with this table, you're also able to resend messages out to students. So say for our testing user student that we didn't have here, or that we don't know in our room, I can send them a message in the portal, maybe share my social media, I could share my Trent email or even a phone number. So that way they can communicate or we can communicate with them outside of the portal, just get to know each other and then plan for move-in on coordinating our decorations and everything else there. So this is really going to give you the overview of room self-selection. This is your process. One thing that I will note is that with our room self-selection time slots, when they are given out, the roommate within the roommate group that has the earliest time slot, you will be self-selecting for you and your roommates. So if you say Aaliyah had an earlier time slot than me, she would have been the one to go through this room self-selection process instead of myself. So just something to note there. So I'm going to quit sharing my screen now and pass the mic back to Montana.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Maddie. That's great. And we're recording this as well. It's going to live on the website, and I'm going to ask you for a copy too, Robert, because I think this is going to go good on YouTube. Just want to give a little bit reminder of those important dates. Not going to read through the whole thing, but course registration live stream. Check that out. It's going to feel kind of like this, give you all the information you need to register for courses. June 4th is that housing guarantee deadline. Apply before June 4th to make sure that you're guaranteed residents and you're going to be a part of this self-selection cycle. July 2nd to 8th, I heard Maddie say, is the roommate matching window. So you're going to get more information on that via email. Keep an eye on your email throughout the summer. I know it's tempting not to, but keep an eye on your email. Check out that self-selection email that you're going to get between July 16th and 23rd is when that date is going to be. And yeah, we really look forward to seeing you at move-in, and we're going to have more information coming up about that as well. So I'm going to say it again one more time. Keep an eye on your email. QR code is down in the bottom if you want to start your or continue your application. If you have questions that we are not able to get to today, or you think of them later or whatever, we're pretty responsive. You can email us at residents@trentu.ca for a prompt response. You can message us or you can call us at our phone number during regular working hours, and we're happy to answer your questions. And QR code at the bottom has a more detailed explanation of your contact options. And Robert, I'm going to pass the mic back to you to push those tours.
Definitely. Thank you, Montana. So as part of trying to find what room is best for you and what college is best for you, we're actually going to be running some residence-only tours for the summer. So these are going to be starting so next week. So that is going to be May the 12th that we're going to be starting to run these residence-only tours. These are going to be morning tours that are going to be run at 11 a.m. and they're going to showcase, a whole bunch of different rooms that we have on campus. So they're going to be going through Autonomy College, Champlain College, Zosky College, and Lady Eaton College. They're going to be a bit of an abridged version of a general campus tour. So if you've already come on campus, if you already toured, it's a little bit shorter, but you get all of the great information about housing, about seeing a room in person as well. So I think this is a great way for students, even who have already, again, taken a tour, to come, see, get a vibe of what you like in a room, and then ultimately help in terms of making your choice as well. So we have amazing tour guides that have a whole bunch of information at their fingertips. So if you have any questions about housing, I'm sure they can start to field those questions too. So I always say to students, it's one thing to see it in photos. It's a completely different thing to see it in person, to get a feel for it in person. So we really hope to see you all on campus. Again, you can book those on our website. So if you go to trentu.ca/discover, you'll find the tour booking page there for both the Peterborough location and for the Durham location as well. So feel free to book those, and we really hope to see you on campus soon.
Awesome. So we do have some questions in the chat. I'm going to be able to answer some of them on my own, and some of them I'm going to pass off to my colleagues who are much more knowledgeable than me. I wanted to open up with one. No smoking would also include vaping and the like. So when we're talking about smoking, Trent is a smoke-free campus in general. There's no smoking in any of the spaces. We have designated sections if you smoke or if you vape, but please read your residence agreement. In there, you will see that there's no smoking in your space. More specific to the spaces themselves, how do kitchens and washrooms differ in the different annexes? Well, you're in a confined apartment rather than a dorm style. In the annexes, these are, I've been told by consultants, these are very large spaces, and it's very unlikely that residences in the future will be built to these sizes. So they're large, and a lot of those annexes, they have 2 washrooms because you're sharing with more people. Check out our photos. You can see how spacious those spaces are. I didn't understand how the annexes work or how many people there are. Could you explain it further? So they are townhome style kind of stacked apartments that are across the street from main campus in Peterborough. And Aaliyah or Maddie, correct me, it's 4 to 6 students per annex, right?
Yes. So depending on which annex you're looking at, um, some of them I would say anywhere from 4 to 7, because the Zosky building, the rooms, there are 6 rooms and they could accommodate 7 students. So it all depends on which annex you're looking at, but the range from 4 to 7 is accurate.
Thank you. Talking about the Durham savings. Yes, you can save $850 off the cost of your Durham room. This promotion is only available in Durham. So if you want to be closer to the GTA, maybe you want to check that out. Durham also has parking included, so you're not paying for parking. Are we supposed to have access to this tab yet? It isn't on my screen. Something tells me that it'll come up when you need it to come up. What do you think, Maddie?
Yeah, absolutely. So at this point, you all will not have access. The roommate matching step will open on July 2nd, and then the room self-selection tabs of your application will open up whenever you receive your room self-selection time slot. And I will shoot that back to Aaliyah, which I think that there might have been another question about when those room self-selection time slots will be emailed to you all.
There are a couple more questions. Meanwhile, Maddie looks. If you want, I could go over them because I had marked some as to answer live.
Please do.
So one of them was, what if I plan to apply for a single room and I don't do roommate matching, and when it's time for me to select a room, there is no more single rooms? I guess what should they do? If you do not participate in the roommate matching step and you end up in room selection and there's no more single rooms, you could select a room, a double occupancy room, and you would end up getting a roommate based on your gender preferences. Or you can select into a room, and that room that you would see would be based on your gender preferences. So you would still have options to select a room, but it would just be a different occupancy. It wouldn't be single occupancy, it would be maybe double, it would be maybe something in the annex. So it would just be a different amount of students within that room. So let me see another one. There's quite some interesting question. Someone asked, I'm looking at my application status and it says I've paid deposit and application fee, but have not signed the contract. Is the contract something I will sign after or when I'm choosing my room? Our hope is by the time it gets to room self-selection, the contracts will be ready for students to sign prior to them self-selecting a room. So just be on the lookout for an email. We probably email you letting you know that the contract is ready for you to review before you pick a room.
And if you're really wondering what that looks like, we have old residence agreements on the website. There is likely going to be modifications, but if you just want to like prep yourself for what that looks like, those are available. Any other questions, Aaliyah, that you wanted to answer specifically?
Just a couple of students asking what if they don't participate in roommate matching. Just like Madeline has said, roommate matching occurs before room self-selection. If you don't participate in roommate matching, you would just self-select a room as per normal. And if there's no single room left at the time of your time slot, you would just select a double occupancy room or a room within an annex. Floor plans are available on our website. So like said earlier, if you want to, before you go into room self-selection, review our room types, review all the room options, you can get in contact with Robert here, and they are offering residents only tours on Wednesdays. So you can go through all that process prior to you self-selecting, just so you are fully aware of all the options available here at Trent.
Awesome, thank you. Got a question here. Is it mandatory to stay in residence for your first year? The answer is no, but I would also say that it is your best option. Staying close to your studies not only cuts time off of your commute and leaves you more time to sleep, study, or work, or socialize. You're signing one contract with one trusted partner. And with that roommate or with that residence guarantee, you know you're coming to town and getting a place to live. A landlord's not going to give you that guarantee. You might have a harder time finding roommates off campus. You're going to have to decide, what does your commute look like? You might have to sign up for utilities. You have to sign up for Wi-Fi. Where are you going to get your laundry done? These are all things that we take care of, in addition to the fun and educational programming that we put on all year to make sure that you have opportunities to meet people, expand your social circles, and have a good time while you're studying. Can I edit my lifestyle preferences after it's been submitted? So what happens if one of our smokers quits smoking and they want to update that, Maddie?
Yes, you are welcome to. You'll just return to your roommate profile and gender preferences page within your application, and you can update your living style or living habits questions. I actually recommend that all of you do that before roommate matching, just to make sure that you guys are having successful matches with roommates, based off of your habits.
Thank you. How many single and value and regular suites are available in autonomy, and do you have any pictures? So if you would like to see the specific floor plans of each of the colleges, those are located on the website. Each college residence has floor plan PDFs at the very bottom of that page. As far as proportions, Aaliyah, my understanding is we mostly offer singles. There is a fair portion of doubles, and there is like a limited amount of value spaces. Would you say that's correct?
Yes, I can confirm what you're saying is accurate. There's not many value spaces available around campus just because value spaces was something that we just launched recently, where we recognize that there are some rooms that are not as large as others, and we just wanted to offer students a more budget-friendly option. There are those options available on campus. There are not many, but I would say the single rooms are the majority of the room styles that we have offer across all our residence buildings.
Awesome. Thank you. Searching for good questions. Um, Feel free to call out if you see one you like.
There's this one. Can
Okay.
can I do a setup for an entire group that you would want to be within an annex apartment, including single and double rooms in the apartment, or it's only for students sharing a double room? So if you want to create a roommate group for an annex, you are able to do so. You would just create a larger roommate group. So your roommate group will comprise of anywhere from 4 to 7 people. And then whoever has the earlier time slot will be able to assign rooms for those students within that annex. My recommendation to you before you go into room selection is review your room types with the people in your roommate group. Oftentimes we run into the scenario where students aren't aware of how many doubles to single ratio within the annex, and some students get assigned a double and they might end up leaving the roommate group after. So if you're planning on doing that, feel free to review our room types available beforehand.
I know we're getting really close to our time, Robert, and we have some great questions. I hope that we've answered most of them in this time. If we have not, there are an abundance of ways to find the answers. We have a YouTube channel where we post our live streams, so you can refer to old ones. There might be some edits, but then you can go to the website. The website is up to date and has all of the information that you would need. The folks that you're going to call at the front desk, they're using the website as a resource too. You can call our front desk. You can email our front desk. Check out our social media. We have tours there. We have tours that other students have posted. You can get an idea what a real room looks like when it's staged. And we really look forward to welcoming you to campus.
Yeah, Montana, for sure. There's a lot of resources online as well for students too. I always encourage students to come to campus and check it out. But if you'd like to get the information online as well, we're always available. So shoot us an email, whether it's to residence@trentu.ca or it's to discovertrent@trentu.ca. Both of those are really good references in terms of getting an answer for what you're looking for as well. So just to go over this will be posted online for everybody. So again, it'll be posted on our live stream page, and it will also be posted on our YouTube channel for you to go back and use it as a reference, even closer to self-selection day 2. So I want to thank everybody for taking the time to come and join us tonight. And again, I want to welcome you to the Trent family, and we hope to see you in the fall, and hopefully it's a smooth transition into residence. So thanks everybody, and have a great night.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.